This is Roy Akers of Skyview Sports. I am with Steve Sweitzer of the Lasco Press. Talking NASCAR last week at Las Vegas certainly was interesting. Josh Berry was a surprise winner.
Yeah, it was a great race. I really enjoyed it. I understand you were live at the track.
I sure was. I was there. It was nice to have a credential the last couple of weeks. And you're the hard card man. You're going to be in Miami this week. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. If there's one thing I can tell you, that facility is absolutely incredible. And they treated the press very, very well there. And I was very impressed. Great press facilities, a great place to watch the race in the press box. The only negative is that they only have the press box open for the Sunday race, for the Cup
Uh,
race. And hopefully they'll change that because it certainly informs your story. And
Likewise, Homestead's a great facility. Been down there several times, and I, I'd actually like to see them bring the championship back to Miami Homestead.
yeah, they have. I heard some of the press talking about that, and anyway, they seem to think that'll happen. They ask about it going back to Las Vegas, but because they probably will not do it at a SMI track, I guess is what I understand. And so NASCAR, they want that at their own tracks, and I guess that's where Phoenix comes in. Is
Yep.
that how you take it? All right, let's talk about that race. Josh Berry, he just got stronger and stronger as the race went on, and winning for the historic Wood Brothers as they got their 201st victory of the season. Great race. What are your takeaways?
Yeah, he did just stay on top of it all race long. I thought their pit strategy was excellent. Um, they were in the right place at the right time for sure, and with a good car and a good driver, um, that's the best you can hope for.
And Glenn Wood was absolutely he was just beaming from ear to ear with that victory. And they won so early in the season, and that's the big thing. And I actually asked Josh Berry, Steve, the question is winning this early in the season, is this going to change, maybe potentially picking up the phone with sponsors? And also, is it going to change your strategy? Because now you've got like, what, 31 races in the season, 21 before the playoffs. And Josh Berry gave a very interesting answer.
But on the strategy side, when you're playing with house money, you made the playoffs. You change your strategy between now and September, or the things you might try that you wouldn't have if you were still looking for a win a little later on in the summer, like last year?
No, I don't think so. I feel like we still just kind of keep doing what we've been doing because it's been working, right? Just go to the racetrack every week and try to prepare the best we can and put the best race car on the racetrack that we can, and just go out and try to continue to build momentum and run well. And really that's where my head's at, I think, in this, right? Like, I think there's a lot of good racetracks for me coming up, obviously a lot of good short tracks, and I feel like those should be good opportunities for us. I don't think there's any reason to overthink the playoff eligibility, and just kind of just go and keep racing and doing the best we can.
Steve, you heard about he said it wasn't going to change anything. Do you believe that?
Well, from a sponsorship standpoint, and the finances of the team, that's probably true. But with regards to the way that they race, they would be foolish not to maximize points. Getting as many stage wins as you can, banking as many playoff points as you can. Over the last few years, we've seen that that's key. If you carry, 15 or 20 playoff points into the postseason, it's a big advantage. And so I would expect that would be at the top of their priority list with regard to the races,
Yeah,
between now and the playoffs.
Yeah, you can't have a deficit going to the playoffs. All of a sudden, you're like, oh man, I should have got those points. It just wasn't about getting a win at Las Vegas. Like you said, we got to have some more. When we come back, we're going to preview the Miami Homestead race number 6 on the NASCAR season. And Steve, you're going to be there, and you're going to have all the action, and we're going to have that for you.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Thank you.
A place to make my own, a place that I call home, this place that I call home.
Well, Steve, you are going to be our NASCAR insider at Miami Homestead this weekend. What do you expect to happen this weekend, as you've seen several races at the track, and you must have some impressions?
Yeah, I mean it's a mile-and-a-half track. You know, the guys that perform well on mile-and-a-half speedways will certainly be the favorites. I don't think anybody can rule out Christopher Bell. As hot as he's been here early in the season, he'll certainly be one to watch. Kyle Larson traditionally has been up and down at the track, but he loves those mile-and-a-half speedways, and I think that he'll be right there in the mix as well.
Yeah, in the last three races, let's kind of go over this. Christopher Bell has won at the track. He also has a couple more top fives, so he's definitely going to be, once again, he's going to be in the mix. Another driver that has won there as well is Tyler Reddick. This is certainly news that he needs to hear, is that he's won recently, and of course, the man you just talked about, Kyle Larson. And there's a couple surprise drivers in there. AJ Allmendinger, the Dinger, he does very well at the Miami Homestead track.
Yeah, I'll give you another name. Well, I'll give you a couple more names to watch. Carson Hocevar, this kid is something. I honestly believe that we may see him break through this year with a win, and Miami's just the kind of place that could happen. Another guy who, although he hasn't led a lot of laps, is Ross Chastain. I think that Trackhouse has got their program going. Daniel Suarez ran very well last week at Vegas,
Sure
and I
did.
wouldn't be surprised to see Chastain get back in the winner's circle here this year as well.
Yeah, talking to both Eric Jones and the Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain, they both said that Las Vegas last week and Miami this week was going to really tell them where their programs are for the entire season. They agreed, and they came right out with it and said, "Yeah, we know where we're going to be." And as you alluded to, Eric Jones, he ran well on Sunday. I mean, he had some really top moments out there.
Yeah, Eric has had a couple of highlights so far in the season. There's just a little bit of something missing with that team, and I know Jimmy Johnson's working real hard to try and upgrade their program. I don't know if we'll see Eric in the winner's circle again this year, but it'd be nice to see a Michigan kid do well.
Yeah, it sure would. Well, taking a look, we had one little trivia question, and I asked you this off camera, and the 2011 winner of the Daytona 500, it was his only victory. It was with the Wood brothers, and he did end up racing. I'll give you a nice clue on this one. He raced for RFK Racing, uh, yeah, the Fenway Racing team, and he's no longer in the sport. And do you happen to know who he is?
Boy,
Trevor Bayne. And
Trevor Bayne, there you
yeah,
go. That's right. Interesting story on that. I was
yeah,
I was there. I was there for that race. I did not cover it as a journalist, but I was there for that race,
uh-huh.
and it was actually in the pits with JJ Yaley's team. They went out early, and so I got to hang around pit road there and watch the race from there. And yeah, that was a huge upset. That was the Wood brothers' 99th career win. And
Uh-huh.
then, of course, they got the 100th last year with the Burton
Burton.
kid. Yep.
Harrison Burton.
And so 101 now with Josh Berry. That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, it's always awesome talking to you about NASCAR, and we check us out every week. Steve and I are going to talk as much as we possibly can. We're definitely going to be doing these little Zoomers, and we'll definitely have highlights for you. We will have some driver interviews and that, and so it should be absolutely outstanding. Steve, I can't thank you enough for coming out from the Lasco Press. If people want to read you, Steve, how do they get in touch with you?
It's thelascopress.com, LASCO, thelascopress.com. And we tell nothing but good news, fun stories, and a lot of motorsports coverage.
Yeah, and in future shows, we'll tell you, Steve has done some really interesting stories for the Lasco Press regarding NASCAR and, of course, his local community, and we'll talk about those so you can kind of check in the archives and get Steve some press. Thanks a lot, Steve. Talk to you next time.
All right, thanks, Roy. I'll see if I can't dig something up this weekend from Homestead.